What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop. Look what I got on the walls. Kiln-dried Spanish cedar. I'm in the walk-in humidor. I have spent all day today by about 10 hours. I got quite a bit done. I also got a list of things that I would like to know in the future. So that's the reason I'm documenting this whole process, is to help all of those out there that want to build a walk-in humidor, so you don't make the mistakes that I did. And then, as you've seen throughout, I've made some mistakes. I fixed them. I've got some pretty big mistakes that have happened now. I'll be working through them. Number one, only use one tape measure, or make sure all of your tape measures are the exact same. You would think there's an industry standard. No, a tape measure off by a 1/16 of an inch can be a pain in the ass. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. So either A, use one tape measure, or get a couple of tape measures, because I'm in here taking measurements and then going to the back of the house where my workshop is, cutting all the wood, then bringing it back in here. After a few pieces, quite a few pieces, I realized, I'm like, man, what am I doing? And then it was my tape measure. One of them was off, so I just switched to using one tape measurer. Do you remember the furring strips? The ones that run this way. Make sure those are straight. Why didn't anybody tell me when I put those up? Hey, remember right before I caulked and I had time to unscrew them and straighten them up? Nobody mentioned that. There was a couple of them that went a little off plumb. And what happens with that is, now I tried to end, or my plan was to put the boards right in the middle of that, but because they were off, my joints are a little discombobulated, as you can see. The fix for that is going to be, which I think it's going to look pretty good. I may end up going with like a cherry or a mahogany, a darker colored wood. I haven't figured it out yet. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this over here, and then that'll be it. It'll actually break it up so you can't tell that there are sometimes different planks of wood on either side. Also, because my room is out of square, and I didn't realize how out of square it was, I had to shave down some of these boards to make them thick on my table saw. So I think if this was like a Brazilian cherry or a mahogany, like a completely different color, I think it would look cool. Now, it would look dumb to just have one on that wall. So what I would do is I would measure this wall. I'd put one in the corners, maybe another one. So the others would be faux, so you wouldn't know they were covering up something. If you just had one on a big wall, you're like, what's he hiding behind that wood? But if I had a couple of them that actually looked it would look kind of cool, it would break it up a little bit. So I think that would look cool. That would be a fix. Another mistake that I made is when I did the furring strips on the ceilings, I only put two going this way, because I figured, that's all I needed. If the boards hung down, these would rest them up. I didn't think about what happens if the fucking boards bowed up. So now the board bowed up. I should have put a furring strip on both corners as well. And then that way, when I nailed it in there, it would have been straight. So what I'm going to end up having to do, I'll probably end up, all I'll do is I put a suction cup on here with a weight, and then I'll put like glue, like wood glue inside that seam, and then like a suction cup with the weight that will pull that board down, because there's not a ton of pressure on there. And then after like 48 hours of it driving, I'll release the suction cup, and that board will stay flat. On the corners, pretty tight on the corners. I don't know what I'm gonna do on the corners yet. I'm doing LED lights in here, so I may end up doing corner channel LEDs that will fit in here, so you really won't see that there's a little bit of a gap inside there. So I may end up doing that. I don't know. Other than that, it's pretty good. Let me see. Let me get down my list quickly here. Make sure that if you get boards that are like I did, different lengths, make sure you have enough boards to at least do the same board on your first run. I ran out, so on one wall, I think once everything's in here, nobody's ever going to notice anything like that. One thing they will notice if they come in here, I am not happy with how this turned out. I still got to wrap the door, so it'll still be kind of cool. I didn't pay attention to the grain on 2 of these boards. 3 of these boards, it goes up and down versus side to side. It is what it is. You know, there's nothing I can do about it now other than rip it all down. It's on the back. Nobody's ever going to really notice it. Wear a mask when you're cutting. Kiln-dried Spanish cedar is toxic. My throat hurts because I haven't worn a mask all day. My skin is super on fire because kiln-dried Spanish cedar is not the best of thing when it's dust form and airborne. Wear a respirator. The planks originally came in 16-foot lengths. I cut them down. I thought this room was 8 foot square. It's not. That's the reason we have joints here and there. If I would not have cut down the planks, I needed to cut them down to get them in my workshop. I wish I would have taken a measurement. I would have cut them down per length so I didn't have to have any joints on any walls. You know, so we're just shy of 8 foot on one wall, north of 8 foot on the other wall. So both walls. So yeah, it's I wish I'd have just left them or took another measurement and not just said, oh yeah, that room's 8 foot square, and it wasn't. My bad. Now I have joints, you know, and now joints that I got to hide because the room's not square. I didn't put the furring strips in plumb because of some warped wood, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, so that's it. Bend down and step up. There are a couple of times you can see, let's see. Yeah, there's one. I think the wood was a little out of square. You can see that there's a little bit of gap in here. And it was not, and I think this one, yes, I should have gotten on a step stool and pressed up. And there were a couple of other times like that. Here's one right here where I just reached up. If I'd have gotten on a step stool and, you know, got even with the board and then nailed it, I would have, you know, there'd have been no gap there. Same thing on getting close to the bottom here. You know, just bending over instead of kneeling down. You know, get face to face with your boards, and that way you can see the gaps. You can close them in when you can. Couple times over here, I did get a pry bar, and I was able to pry them up and get everything nice and tight. So that's kind of where I started. When you get tired, take a break, call it a day. I should have called it a day an hour ago, an hour and a half ago. I really wanted to get the whole room leveled off to a certain point, and this wall right here is just it's not the greatest. So, but like I said, I'll be able to hide it with some finagling. But take a break when you get tired. Sit down, call it a day. Come back another day. There's no reason to just keep pushing yourself because you're going to make mistakes. So yeah, so next Sunday, I should have this done next Sunday. At least all the wood I still got to cut this hole up here. So this Monday night's the last night of our the I Tap That Cigar show for the year. So that's 2 days a week that show takes out of my time. So, yeah, we're cutting down to the end of the year, but this will be done by December 31st. So I'm super, super stoked. So a list of everything. Hopefully you've been following me on this journey, learning my do's, my don'ts. If you got any comments about going forward, leave me a comment wherever you're watching this. Questions, leave me a question as well. Oh, we did do the baseboard today. I put that on the bottom. That is all PVC base, so it's just all plastic. So I can come in here and mop, not get any of the boards wet going to the floor. We talked about that on a different one. We'll go into that more into the future because I'm running out of time. So all right, cats and kittens, we'll catch you on the next series.